So last but not least is going to be our, what we like to call our entry level compared to other people's entry level, the RX series of amplifier. Now, the Elite 5 is a hybrid amplifier, Class AB and Class D. The TI2 1605 is a full range Class D amplifier. The SX 1205 is a full range Class D amplifier. Now going down to our RX series, our entry level 5-channel amplifier, this is the RX 600.5. It borrows the same design from the Elite 5 in that it is a hybrid amplifier. It is Class AB on the front 4 channels and Class D on the sub channel. So you're going to have 60 watts by 4 on the front 4 channels at 4 ohms and 300 watts at 2 ohms on the sub channel. Because this is a Class AB amplifier, it is going to be a little bit larger footprint than the SX. So it's still compact enough to fit in a lot of tight places, but you're going to get an entry-level amplifier that's built way above and beyond what most entry-level amplifiers are built. Also, the sound quality and the cosmetics that Phoenix Gold has always been known for. You can see the RX amplifier has the same plexiglass top, very unique, well thought out, well laid out circuit board. It's going to still have dual power supplies, even in our entry-level amplifier, because you have a Class AB section and a Class D section. You're still going to have your audiophile grade bipolar outputs, hand-wound robust power supplies. This amplifier on the entry-level stance will outperform just about any other entry-level 5-channel amplifier that's out there. A lot of companies don't even make entry-level 5 channels. But with the RX series, you're going to find that you can get the amount of power you want for a starter system, or if someone wants to upgrade from a factory amplifier and still be able to produce a lot of power without breaking the budget, is where you're going to find the RX 605 making a home in your car or in your store. The sub-level control is still included in this amplifier. You have very similar adjustments as far as your crossover capability on this amplifier. You're also going to find that the RX 600.5 is the only series of amplifier that has direct high-level input on the side of the amplifier. So we actually include the high-level input plug so you can wire it directly into your OEM radios in the vehicle that you're working on. So let's take a look at the internals of the RX amplifier so you can see exactly how much better it is built over a lot of the competition's entry-level amplifiers. We still do direct surface mount of all of our components. We're still using high-end output devices that handle a lot of power, tombstone style resistors, high quality sealed potentiometers so that you don't have issues with your gain or crossover adjustments not being accurate according to the frequency or level that you're setting your gains. You can see on the left-hand side, this is the internals of our RX 605. On the right, you're going to see this is other companies' entry-level amplifier. There's a huge difference in the build quality. We don't use little solder traces. We don't use any jumpers internally. Our amplifiers are built solidly, anywhere from the entry-level all the way up to the Elite series. So something can be said for an entry-level amplifier that looks and performs like its big brothers. Okay, so if you guys ever go to the Phoenix Gold website, or when you go to the Phoenix Gold website to look up information on amplifiers, you're going to find all the power ratings, all the specs, all the features in each particular amplifier. One thing I do want to point out on the tab that's called support, the first thing you're always going to find for each amplifier is going to be the user manual. Just below the user manual is a very unique file that we created called the adjustment guide. What this adjustment guide is going to do, this is where we actually went in and set up each amplifier to give you the maximum undistorted output and gave you the values on how to set up the gains. We also, like I said previously, on the Elite and the TI2 have clip light indicators to help you with this, but you can use either your oscilloscope or just simply use a voltmeter and use this adjustment guide to set up your amplifiers. This is the best way to ensure that your Phoenix Go amplifiers are going to perform at their maximum capabilities. We give you a target AC voltage that you can use to set your amplifier to that voltage for front and rear channels and sub channels, depending on if it's a 2-channel, 4-channel, or 5-channel. We also give you the actual output wattage that you should be expecting to get out of the amplifier at that target voltage. This is going to ensure that every amplifier that is installed in your vehicle or goes out of your car is performing to its highest capability. That can prevent subwoofers from being destroyed, make sure customers are happy that their amplifiers are producing the amount of power that they need to, and also making sure that you don't have any issues by meeting those voltage ratings that we put on each one of the amplifiers. Now we're going to go into some of the newer products. What we're going to talk about now are the new subwoofers that we released this year. I have one of them here for those of you that are on the computer or that will look at this later online. This is a cutout of the new Okay. This is a cutout of the new Elite 2 subwoofer to show you exactly how this new subwoofer is built and designed over the previous model. Some of the unique features about this amplifier, as the slide shows, is the new radial venting. The new radial venting design actually allows the woofer to stay 30% cooler. What these radial vents will do is allow the upper plateau venting below the spider to take air in and also take air in and out of the pole piece along with the radial vents. This allows the high temperature voice coil to stay extremely cool during high excursion. This is going to make your subwoofer more reliable and also make sure that everything stays cool. Just like a car engine or any other type of moving mechanism, the cooler you can make it, the more reliable and the more longevity you're going to get out of it, better performance down the road.
The size of the holes also makes it so there's turbulence in those holes, which causes the heat to transfer better to across the. So.
Cool.
And that's a TI.
Oh, I'm sorry, that's TI. So looking at this chart here shows you the difference between a non-radial venting and a radial vented driver. Across the time elapsed here at the bottom of the scale, according to temperature going up the left side, you see that once you add the radial venting, your temperature range is going to be about 30% lower than a non-radial vented subwoofer all the way across that power range, which for us just ensures that regardless of how hard you're driving your system, it's going to help ensure that that voice coil and subwoofer stay intact and last you a lot longer. Looking at some of the specs on the TI3 10-inch and 12-inch here compared to last year's model, TI2, we're still going to have a 2.5-inch voice coil, same linear X-Max. Peak to peak is going to be 40 millimeters of excursion. Now the new voice coil design that we went to is a very high temperature, very expensive Japanese voice coil. This was something that took us a lot of time in engineering to come up with to ensure that we give you a higher performing subwoofer than the previous model. The subwoofer design now also between the two new woofers, the TI3 and the Elite 2, also share the same basket, where previously when you wanted to build an enclosure or if a customer bought a TI2 and they wanted to upgrade to an Elite, the baskets were different, so that meant you had to build a new box or at least build a new faceplate. Now we ensure that the 12-inch drivers share the same basket, share the same footprint so that you can upgrade from one to the other or build a common size box that will also work with both subwoofers. The power handling from the previous model to the current model jumped up dramatically. Over 3 times the amount of rated power can the new TI2 handle over the previous model.
TI3.
I'm sorry, TI3 over the previous model. You're going to have these drivers taking the normal rated power, 600 watts RMS. If you go by the RMS rating, you're never going to destroy this woofer, but you're still going to give this subwoofer enough power to play it without any lack of bass. You're going to have plenty of output, sealed enclosures, vented enclosures, bandpass enclosures without any problem whatsoever.
I was just going to add, Theo, so when you can obviously drive it with more power than it's rated and you'll get some more output, but it's diminishing returns, and then you obviously run the risk of destroying the woofer, being ours or anyone else's. So our power rating is really the optimum power window for that woofer. So if you give it between 600 and 800 watts, you're in that sweet spot for where that woofer is going to perform best. Obviously, you can give it a little more, or you can give it a little less, which is highly unlikely, but you can always give it a little more and still be safe, but knowing that keeping it within that 600 to 800 watt range is going to be optimal.
Right. One of the other things that was done in the engineering of this new driver was to also increase the top plate thickness. By doing that, it helps dissipate more heat from the motor structure compared to the previous model. And we also added more motor strength by increasing the actual size of the magnet over the previous model. 20% increase.
So in essence, the whole motor structure has been beefed up. It's basically an elite driver now under the TI3 moniker, and then we've gone ahead and stepped up the build quality of the elite driver to surpass that even further. So.
Okay. So let's look at the specs on the new Elite 2. One of the largest things that you're going to notice on the Elite 2 versus the TI3 is that the mounting depth increases a little bit because you go from a double stack magnet to a triple stack magnet. You're also going to increase your power handling from the previous model with the higher quality voice coil that we talked about. Also with the radio venting, this subwoofer now will go above and beyond the previous rating of the older Elite woofer, where it was rated a lot higher than what it actually could handle in average everyday installations. So we now made sure that this woofer will handle the power that it is rated without failure. Double stitch surround, the same plateau venting, radio venting on the back side of the driver. We also made sure that we increased the motor structure with the more magnet weight, 20% increase on this, 15% increase on the Elite 2 over the previous Elite driver. These are going to be monster subwoofers. I mean, when you have someone that really wants to make a lot of noise or you want a lot of output, the new Elite 2 driver is going to be a real monster. One of the things that we also did on this driver from the previous model is the Phoenix Gold Tri-Light LED logo in the center has now been made to be removable from the front of the woofer. So you can actually unbolt the LEDs from the front, where previously if you had an LED go out, you just had a bad woofer at that point. Now you can actually take the LEDs out, replace them if you ever have a bad one, or you can actually change the LEDs inside the LED housing to match the color scheme of your installation. So if you have all red lighting, green lighting, blue lighting, or whatever in your installation, you can actually swap those LEDs out inside the LED mounting surface itself.
Yeah, so basically we give you an extra LED housing which already has blue LEDs in it, but you can switch those out if you so desire, or if you need it as a spare, but it comes with one. Another point of note, the new Elite 2s and the TI3s come with jumper leads, as well as having all the connections for the speaker wires on one side of the basket now, so it makes doing a dual or multiple woofer setup a lot easier to wire.
Correct. So The fact that you now have all of the speaker terminals on a single side will make your installation, number one, a lot easier as far as wiring, but also make it look cleaner if you're going to do the woofers reverse mounted on top, or if you're doing plexiglass windows so you can see inside your sub box, or just want a woofer that's easier to wire up. And as John was saying, we now include all the jumpers, so if you're going to do series parallel wiring in the actual box for the driver. So with that being said, we're going to talk about another new addition to the family, the new TI2 2000.1. So previously in the TI2 line, the largest subwoofer amplifier we made was the TI2 1300.1 that produced 1300 watts at 1 ohm mono. Then there was a huge gap from that point until you got to the Elite 1 that produces 3200 watts at 1 ohm, or realistically 4000 watts, but we rated at 3200 watts. So there was a huge gap there, and a lot of guys really didn't know where to go when they were powering a single Elite driver or trying to do multiples of the older TI2s and things like that. So we came out with this new amplifier that's already shipping and available, along with the new TI3 and Elite 2 woofers that are shipping and available now. This amplifier is a true beast for subwoofer applications. You're talking 2000 watts at a very good price point, very relatively small footprint also. It's not much larger than the current TI2 1605 that we talked about previously, but you're talking about an amplifier that's built to drive subwoofers without breaking a sweat. 8 gauge inputs for power and ground, 8 gauge speaker outputs. You're going to have the same hand-built, high-end, really rugged built dual power supplies. So it's not going to be a dual power supply like a 2-channel or a 4-channel where you have one for separate left and right. These are actually run in tandem, so to create a larger power supply to be extremely efficient and handle the demands of what a 2000 watt subwoofer amp should be able to produce. You're going to have the same crossover selection and capability. You're going to have the subwoofer level control come in the box, the RBCF. The port for the RMD is also available. The 2000.1 is a true 1 ohm stable amplifier. Now, going back a little bit to Phoenix Gold's heritage, we've always had the ability to run incredibly low ohm loads in all of our amplifiers. If you look at all the specs for most of our subwoofer amplifiers, they're all 1 ohm stable. In the amplifier setup chart, we actually show you how much power they produce in 2 ohm also. So you don't have to always set the amplifier up into 1 ohm. You can set it up in a 2 ohm scenario if need be and still produce a lot of power. The variable phase option is also available on this amplifier. So the variable phase is something that you guys really need to embrace, because previously most head units and most amplifiers strictly go 0 or 180. Sometimes it makes it sound better, but imagine if you could actually get that 80-degree phase adjustment or 23-degree phase adjustment. So by making this adjustment and being able to take your screwdriver and sweep the actual phase adjustment from 0 to 180 slowly, you can make that blend so much better for sound quality purposes. Even in an SPL scenario, you can actually help align your woofer's output to get higher numbers. So that variable phase is a very, very good feature in all of our subwoofer amplifiers.
Yeah, to that point, it's very useful, like everyday kind of feature. So if you're doing an install, I'm sure everybody's done an install like in a hatchback, and the thing should be rocking because it's a hatchback, and it just doesn't sound quite right. You're not sure why it isn't, why it's off. So you do the normal balance left and right, and then nothing really changes there. You fade front to back, nothing really fixes it there. Well, odds are that you have a phase issue, but it's not 180 degrees. So you just go ahead and you have somebody play a bass track with a solid tone, and then you just turn the knob slowly. It will get louder as soon as you get the phase aligned with the mid-bass drivers in the front, or just a issue in the cabin itself. It's a very usable function, much better than bass boost, where you're just trying to band-aid the issue that you have instead of looking at the real issue, which is it's just a phase issue. So.
Correct. And like we said before, this variable phase feature is available in all of the monoblock amplifiers from Phoenix Gold.
Are you done with that one? Are you getting ready to skip to the next thing?
I was, unless you have something else.
Yeah. One other thing I want to point out on this amp, it does draw a considerable amount of current, in excess of 200 amps. Things start to go
Boom.
very crazy with that kind of amperage load. So, the big three upgrades a must when installing this amp.
Real copper wire, no CCA.
Yeah, for sure, no CCA. If you install these in one of the guys' cars and you start getting some odd issues, the amp shutting off or the just unusual things, it's usually because there's so much current being drawn. You really start looking at what the power supply you're feeding the amplifier and how that is designed. If you start running into any issues, Jeff had this in his stock Suburban, and it will about shut his truck off if he's not on the accelerator, if he's idling and he starts whacking on it. So
Right.
just for an example. So just keep that in mind when you're putting this in. Lots of current draw. It's able to produce a lot of power. It's deceiving because it's small. Like when you put an Elite in, you know that you're upgrading all those things. This one isn't the stature as far as physical size as the Elite amp. It might give you a false sense of, oh, I can just throw it in there and everything's going to be good. Just keep that in mind while you're doing those installs.
Cool. All right. So now what we're going to talk about is for those of you that are authorized Phoenix Gold dealers or potential dealers, this is something that we offer our dealers, and this is the Phoenix Gold dealer display. Here we are showing some of our displays placed in some of our retailers, MVS Audio in New Jersey, Cartoons here in Tampa, or Brandon actually, and Competition Soundworks in Corpus Christi, Texas. These displays are built to show off our products. They sound really good. They're very effective. If you guys have a Phoenix Gold dealer in your area and they have one of these displays, hopefully they do. If not, they should get one. You can go out and check out the products at those stores. These displays are showing up all over the place and are very good examples of how the product can perform within the vehicle. It has a way of showing you how the amplifiers work with all of the different speakers available and also with the RMDs, voltmeters functioning, and you can switch between all the different options to make sure you choose the Phoenix Gold products that are right for you and your installation.
It even has outputs, so if you want to do a custom box or a prefab or something like that and put some drivers in that, you can switch to the external channels. The enclosures themselves for the mid-bass drivers are ported, so it gives you a more realistic sound as if it was in a car. As you know, listening to soundboards typically don't give you the same experience as in car because you're in a larger environment. Typically they will sound better in the car, but you're not able to show that to the customer. But
Correct.
With this, we've kind of optimized the enclosures that the drivers are in to give you a more realistic experience as it would be as if you were in the vehicle.
Correct. All right. So, for those of you that are not connected to us, you can go to Facebook and follow us, Phoenix Gold's products and services. You can also follow the parent company, AMP of America. On this website, there are lots of dealers showcasing, consumers showcasing their cars, lots of product information. We try to keep the website as up to date. The Facebook page as up to date as possible. John and a few of the other people in marketing monitor the site continuously to make sure all of the content is up to date. And we also put consumers' cars out there. We showcase our dealers to make sure we're all connected on Facebook.
Hey guys, if you have installs or whatever, please post them on our site. We're more, it doesn't necessarily always have to be our stuff in there. We're a team when it comes to what we're doing. So
Yep.
if you got a great install and you want to showcase it, feel free to post it. We're not going to take it down just because it has somebody else's product in there.
We're all about sharing the love.
Yeah. So let's just put as much content as possible on there. Let's spread the word.
Get those likes up. We're going to start having a few contests also. People can win products, shirts, and things like that when we start doing the contest on the Phoenix Gold Facebook page. Also, you guys could get connected to our tech support site if you have issues with current Phoenix Gold products, older Phoenix Gold products. I saw someone asking the other day on Facebook how to get one of the older reactors serviced. We still offer service on any of the older PG products. You can follow the link through the Phoenix Gold website. We have lots of stuff still available for the older legendary products from the past. From the AMP of America site, you can talk directly to tech support 24 hours a day. You can post problems, issues, and questions, and we'll respond back to you in a timely manner. This will also give you the ability to talk about any of our products, whether it be Phoenix Gold, Stinger, Pack, iSimple, anything under our mini company umbrella that we have. Tech support. You can reach our tech support for Phoenix Gold at this number here, 727-752-9255, extension 230, or you can dial the 800 toll-free number, 1-866-228-5560. Tech support is currently available Monday through Saturday, 9 to 7, Monday through Thursday, Friday 9 to 6, Saturday from 9 till 7. We are going to be adjusting some of those hours here relatively soon once we get our West Coast tech support back up and running again. For any further information you guys need on our products, you can always visit us on the web, www.phoenixgold.com. You will find all of the information you need on any of the products that we talked about today, and also information on servicing any of the older amplifiers or products from Phoenix Gold. Also, the next installment of AMP University for Phoenix Gold will come down the pipeline, and we will put all the information out on the web and email all of you all over again to alert you when that is going to happen. Then we're going to showcase the talk of CES from our booth, which was the Zen 9. And we launch our Phoenix Gold 30-year anniversary campaign. This is going to be happening later this year, so stay tuned for that. A lot of you guys have been already trying to ask, how do you get a Zen 9, the new 30th anniversary limited edition amplifier? Visit your local PG dealer, get on the list, because like the limited editions of old, there's only so many of these guys going to be made, and this amplifier is a true masterpiece. 9 channels of Phoenix Gold goodness. So be on the lookout for the next webinar from Phoenix Gold featuring the new Zen 9 product under our 30th anniversary tour that's going to be coming up. Anything else you got, John?
I wish my car was as cool as the Zen 9.
It's okay. You drive a Porsche. You're cool. All right, guys. That's going to be it for the Phoenix Gold edition of AMP University. Appreciate you guys coming out. If you have any questions or comments, you can always email us, call us, hook us up on Facebook, and we will talk to you guys next time. Appreciate you for coming in. Go enjoy your music and go sell something. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, guys.